What is going on, guys, and welcome to the second video, the second Clash of Clans video, I should say. There are many videos on this channel, but the second Clash of Clans video that I'll be posting on the Murder Zombies channel. Today I'm going to be covering a replay of an attack that I did in hard mode, and then I'm going to be going over some variants to this attack strategy that I honestly don't see enough people talking about. So we're going to watch this replay right here. I'm on my computer right now, so there is one replay of me 3-starring on computer, which I thought was pretty fun, but this was me playing on my phone. So this is hard mode. So this really just shows that if you execute this attack the same way, it's going to look even better and even easier than the way it turned up. I have showed this strategy before. I'm going to talk about two other variants of this strategy though, but this strategy is going to be, as you can see from what I have in the clan castle, I have an overgrowth spell. That's kind of the important thing here, and we're going to be changing out this spell, and I'm going to be showing you two other attacks, one with the recall and one with the revive spell. But I do think that there are certain attacks, like my base for example, is set up in a way where approaching this with a revive spell or even a recall is really not going to give you that much, because the core is so far separated from the rest of the base. The idea about this base is when it's supposed to be really hard to funnel into the core. The idea is it's going to send you around the outskirts of the base the whole time and have you finish with the town hall. But so what I do is I use my RC down here. I'm going for this segment, this compartment right here, and as she gets closer to this air defense, that's when I'm going to use my overgrowth. You can see I used it a little early there. I wanted to take out the mortar as well, really get her in early. And so she's going to clear out that expo. And she's going to go directly in to this core. So this is really all we need. If we can grab this with the Royal Champion, we did everything that the Royal Champion needs to do. Save the ability here. Use it now. The invis spell is obviously going to go off, and you can see that we're doing a great job of keeping the RC in the core, and we still have 3 invis spells left, as you can see, so we're really going to clear out this core no problem, not difficult. Okay, so the core is done. I did have another invis spell, which is nice. We can kind of just do as much work as we need to do at that point. But again, the idea here is we're taking out the core, and then we're trying to kind of funnel our way around. We can see that we've kind of made a ring here, and no matter where we place our troops, it's going to be really easy to funnel. Now, most of the time, I'm obviously going to use an air barrack, but I saw for this base that I know it's my own base, but still have to analyze it like I'm attacking a normal base. I saw that this segment was really open here, and I thought that bringing in a siege barrack and putting in the queen down here to really take out this whole segment, and that leaves us with not much to really have to deal with our king and the rest of the attack. So I started off, I put my queen down in this corner to deal with this campfire, to deal with this, and most importantly, the minion prince is most concerning to me, because the siege barrack is ground, everything I'm going to use is ground. I guess I used the queen here, sorry. There was another attack where I used the queen on this side with the siege barrack to funnel in this way. The abilities, I also switched out. I was using the giants on her. I switched out for this attack. Again, obviously if it's a war attack, take a look at the base and really get an idea for what's going to work. I took a look at my base and I said, okay, the siege barrack plus these queen abilities, and again I trade out for the giant because that's even better, I honestly think, for this area, because the giant can really tank for the queen. But again, kind of just read the base and decide what you need to use. If you want an attack, we'll talk about it at the end, if you want an attack that you can consistently use for online battles, I'm going to tell you exactly what this attack is going to look like. I have covered this attack before. And then the idea here is we really don't want anything to go to the right. We want everything to funnel to the left, and everything did a great job of really getting to the left. We use a wall breaker here to try and get the king in. There's a chance that he takes out this and he goes around the outside, but either way it's not really a problem what he does here, because the dragons end up coming in. And then we have the siege barrack troops coming out, and they're going to go to the right. And at this point we have so many troops for not that much base that we really have to deal with here. So not really concerning. We have another baby dragon to even clear, you know, some of these trash buildings on the outside. I did want that air defense distraction before I used the baby dragon. But yeah, you can see we didn't use the headhunter, which honestly would have been very smart to use down here to help out with the minion prince. But this is just total domination, and again, this is on hard mode, so the hero abilities are not as high leveled, and you know, heroes have less health, the defenses have more health. So that really just shows how dominant this attack is. We have a helper here. Don't need to use this helper. So I think what we're going to do here is we're going to go into some online battles. I'm going to show you two different variants of the attack. Again, depending on the base, there are bases that you're going to need to overgrowth. So I'll tell you that if you want an attack that's consistent for doing online attacks like League of Legends, for example, the most consistent variant of this attack is going to look like this. So it's going to be, let's just see here. So it's going to be the king with the phoenix being its best pet. I'm upgrading my phoenix right now, so I can't really use that, but it's going to be the phoenix, the earthquake boots with the spiky ball. These two pair really, really well together. Diggy pairs really well with the warden. I know that he's a ground troop. I will say that the angry jelly also works really, really well. You can kind of pick between the two. I would say that, you know, they work just as well as each other. It's level 4. At level 5 you get an extra 5 seconds, so that's why I'm using Diggy for now. But when I get up to level 5, I'm definitely going to throw him in. Sorry, I actually need to correct what I was saying. The Phoenix is what should be on the RC. The Phoenix is way better for the RC. People are finding out. And then I would say for the King, you can use, if you're going to use the Angry Jelly on the Warden, you can use Diggy on the King. You can use Frosty on the King, and you can even use the Spirit Fox on the King. To be honest, you can use a lot of stuff on the King. I would say in an ideal situation, you're using the Minion Prince, and in this situation, you're usually putting the Angry Jelly on him with Diggy on the Grand Warden, but my Minion Prince is not nearly high enough. My King is maxed out, and he really does a great job in this attack. So we'll put Frosty on him for now. But this variant of the attack does work. That's kind of important to note. We use the Electro Boots with the Haste Vial. These two should be obvious. I know a lot of people kind of talk about the Rocket Spear instead of the Haste and whatnot. The Haste really gets so much value. I don't see any other ability being, you know, used here, in my opinion. And then the Healer Puppet plus the Arrow is better for most attacks. But again, with my base, for example, with that segment, you know, again, look at the war base and determine what's best. Sometimes spam is better. In that case, I'm using the Mirror plus Giant because that's full spam. And I'm going to throw those in for my attacks right now as well, just because my Giant Arrow is not really high enough level yet. So for the rest of the attack, I have seen attacks that consist of literally only giants and 2 baby dragons. The baby dragons for funneling, and instead of doing balloons, you do baby dragons. But I've noticed that you can kind of place the the dragons early, have them tank and put the balloons behind, have them tank for the balloons, and because the balloons are faster, the balloons are eventually going to pass the dragons, and that is the point in which you will then use the Warden ability. The balloons will then have, you know, endless HP, and they'll be able to tank for the dragons a little bit, get as many defenses out as they possibly can, and then from that point forward, it's led up to the dragons. The balloons are going to die really, really quick. They don't have a lot of HP, and that's why we're just trying to take advantage of them while they're under the Warden ability, because while they don't have a lot of HP, they do a lot of damage. We have the Headhunter in. The Headhunter is both kind of a mix of cleanup, but if you're attacking a base like this, for example, where, you know, you might want to put your a hero dive down here where you're putting a king or a queen, you can kind of help with the hero that's down there using a Headhunter. Sometimes it also helps with, you know, I did the RC charge and the RC went up here. Sometimes throwing it in and helping out with heroes along the way with the RC charge works too. We have the Wall Breaker. The Super Wall Breaker is not really needed if you want to trade it out. It's mainly for if I'm doing a hero dive. It's to just help the king or queen get into whatever segment I wanted them to get in. Obviously, we saw I used the king over here, and then plus you have the Earthquake Boots, so you're able to get into 2 segments with the Wall Breaker. So the Wall Breaker is not as needed because of the Earthquake Boots, but it allows you to save the Earthquake Boots for more inside of the base. Then for the Clan Castle, again, the most consistent thing to run. I don't really need these in here because these are maxed out, would be 10 balloons with a poison, and then what I'm doing is a majority of the time, again, the consistent attack is using an overgrowth, but I'm going to be talking about other variants today. That's the idea of this video. Other things that you can use in the clan castle that we're going to talk about today. Again, the overgrowth, in my opinion, is the best option more of the time. The second best option is the recall spell. The third best option are 2 freezes, and the fourth option, in my opinion, that's not the best option, but depending on how you execute it, it might work out well, is the revive spell. So we're not going to run any CC troops here. I just want to kind of run through these spells. So we all know what the overgrowth is for. That's getting your RC into the core, as the core is usually the most important part to clear out for this attack. Once the Town Hall is gone, especially at Town Hall 16, the attack becomes super easy, and you're able to do that with the overgrowth plus 11 invis, so why not? But so let's go in with an overgrowth, and let's show the difference with an overgrowth. Obviously, if you're, or not overgrowth, sorry, the recall spell. Obviously, if you're going in with a recall spell, you're looking for bases that don't need the overgrowth to funnel in your RC. But again, that's why I say, like, if you're in Legends League, for example, using the overgrowth is just more consistent, because you'll find attacks where you really need the overgrowth, versus recall and all these other spells are never really needed. But what I'll say is, again, if you're able to analyze the, a base, so if it's war, if you're able to analyze the base before you attack, you might see a base where it's like, oh, their Town Hall isn't in the core and I'm able to get that early. Why don't I use a recall? I'll recall the RC and use her in my attack. So we're going to look for a base here where we're able to use a recall. And we have 4 new chests today, so let's get into it. Let's find a base. Okay, so this is honestly a really good example. The one thing I am concerned about is his invis spell is definitely going to, it's going to make the Town Hall invisible. My hope is, so put the RC down here, she's going to come in this way, the invis spell will funnel her down here, and hopefully because of how many hit points the X spell and Scattershot have, the Town Hall will not be invis shortly after, and she'll be able to clear the Town Hall. But the idea here is we want to clear as much of this section, this top section, as possible. I'm going to let her go invisible with the Spirit Fox one more time, and then pretty much the rest of the time we're going to have to spam these invis spells, because I really don't want the Town Hall targeting her. So there you go, there's the invis spell from the Town Hall. Just going to come out to the Expo, there we go. We can actually use the ability here as well, and we'll throw the invis down there, that way she will turn around and deal with the Town Hall now. Perfect. This is exactly what we want. So we can take out the Town Hall here, and now we've kind of created either a half circle this way or a half circle this way. I know this is not the best base. He doesn't have a monolith active, but he does have his, he did have his Town Hall in a segment where I can kind of really show off the recall being useful here. So we'll recall there, and I think what we're gonna do is probably start the attack from this side. So I think what we'll do is we'll put the Queen down here to deal with this air defense, along with a baby dragon up here. We'll even send the Queen in, honestly. I hope that she goes in. Okay, so we'll send the Queen in here. We'll use the King over here, and hopefully he'll funnel down this way, and the rest of the troops will go up top here. With this. And we can even throw in the RC, so there you go. So we throw in the RC, perfect example. We'll even use the ability very early. The King is not going where he needs to go. I should have used the ability. I should have been paying attention to use the ability a little early. But we'll use the ability there to really get him in. And you can see that the ability is saving our troops for this main area right here. This is really where everything is. After that, the Queen, the King, everything will be fine. But this is, again, it's not on hard mode, so it's easier. This is total domination. I can even put the baby dragon down here. The baby dragon's going to be fine and be able to take out that ricochet. But this is total domination. The King is full HP. The Giant is full HP. The only thing that it's not concerning for this attack, but you know, when you're dominating this hard, the only thing that you ever have to be concerned in this situation is time. But time does not seem like it's going to be an issue at all. Baby Dragon, able to take out that Ricochet. Nothing left on the top side. And there we go, an easy 3-star. So, again, we'll take a look at the base here quickly. Review the game. A rare? Give me an epic. Okay, I'll take it. I won't take it. I honestly prefer the snacks more than the rare chests with more loot. Okay, so let's just quickly take a look at this base one more time, and again, I'm going to establish why we're able to use the recall. Not that you guys don't know, it's fairly obvious. But again, because the Town Hall is out here, this is the segment that we care about with the RC. If the Town Hall is in the middle, that is the segment that we care about. Because it's on the outside, we're able to really clear this area and start that funnel, where, again, the only way is to go around. So no matter where you put your dragons, as long as it's not like in the middle or up here, obviously, the funnel's already created. And again, in this case, we're able to recall the RC and throw her in with our attack. Again, if the Town Hall is in the middle, using an overgrowth to really funnel her in there. To be honest, we're just going to test this out more so for fun. I honestly don't see a position where the revive spell is better than the recall in that situation. This is what I'll say about the revive spell versus the recall. If the RC happens to die early, you're able to use the revive spell, and that'll kind of, you know, you'll be able to fix up the attack, and that error of letting her die will not become a problem. If she happens, if you find that you're not struggling with this and she's living till the end every single time, if you are attacking a base with the Town Hall on the outside, the recall is going to be better. If you're attacking a base with the Town Hall in the middle, the overgrowth will be better. But if you are attacking a base with the Town Hall on the outside, the revive spell also works, and I'm going to show how this works. I will also mention that, again, you're going to have the Phoenix on her, so the idea is use the 11 invis spells. She's going to get an extra 7 or 8 seconds depending on what level your Phoenix is at. She's going to get anywhere, or sorry, 6 to 8 seconds depending on what level your Phoenix is at. And then she'll die, and then as the attack kind of goes over her, we're able to use the revive spell. So you're going to see how it happens. So here we go. So this is honestly perfect. The first base is perfect. So again, the Town Hall's on the outside. The only thing we have to be concerned about is this invis spell, but the idea is hopefully we can put her in a position that she's going to continue to attack some higher DPS, or not DPS, higher hit point defenses to really get her in. So I think what we're going to do is we'll put her here. And now this way. Oh, really thought she was going to deal with that Ricochet. I guess not. But she'll deal with the multi-archer, and now she'll turn over to the Town Hall. Okay, so the Town Hall is clear, or at least the boots will take care of that. We'll go for the Monolith. Now again, we are going to let her die here, so I'm not as stressed about using these invis spells and really maintaining health. I do want one of these. Honestly, okay, she's not going to go in. I wanted to see if we could take out one of these air sweepers, maybe with the boots. Okay, no, because there's a builder hut there. So we've kind of set up a funnel here where we're going to go straight down is what we're looking to do here. So we can do a baby dragon here to really clear these buildings, and we'll even do a queen here to take out this air defense and send everything from the top side. So once she gets there, we're going to let her take out the Dark Elixir. Once the Dark Elixir is taken out, she goes in. We'll use her ability and get the Giant. Or I'll just let her take out the air defense, honestly. And here we go. Start the attack. Everything from up top here and through the core of the base. Queen ability. We're going to save the king ability here, or sorry, save the warden ability a little bit longer, and right there is good. So this is, again, all we have to worry about is this middle segment. They're going to take out the rest of the base, and you can see that with the warden ability active, this is just total domination. Not a problem. The king will continue along the outskirts here. I really should have put the king down in this segment, honestly. Would have done a lot better work, honestly. But this should not be a problem. Oh, we never even used the revive spell. Well, we'll use it now anyways. Obviously the idea, especially because she died here, this is really good. The idea is that when the warden crosses over her is when we'd use the ability, and that would not only save her, heal her, but it would save her and heal her, and you know, get her to full HP. We may not even 3-star this, honestly, due to time. Let's see what happens, because we do have a baby dragon. We do have some stuff that we can use on the outskirts here. Okay, so it is going to be a 3-star. With 1 second left, I was really stressing there. So it is going to be a 3-star. That really came down to time. But you can see if we use the... that notification really just... They really want me to rate this game. Okay, so I completely messed that up. I would honestly wish that I didn't, and I had a really good replay for you here, but I'll just show you the attack over and kind of explain what's happening. You guys should know, but you can see that this area down here, I mean, I should have put my king here, but this area down here, even with the RC, is probably unconcerning if we have the RC. So again, we see the town hall is on the outside, so this is a perfect base for us to use the revive spell, which we didn't even use. But even then, it really goes to show how good this revive spell can work when we didn't even use it. I'm just going to skip. I'm not going to show the whole attack over. I kind of just want to show where the RC ended up, where we started the attack. And honestly, what I would suggest... So the RC dies here, and I would honestly say that if she ended up funneling down this way, down to this scatter shot in this area, that starting the attack from up here would have been the play. But the idea would be to start the attack from the side that the RC is on, and this way, when the dragons and the balloon and the Grand Warden, and you'll see it would have played out perfectly. So you can see here it would have played out perfectly. The Warden goes right over the RC. This is when you use the revive spell, and as everything enters this segment, you know, when the RC enters that section and all that, we could honestly, I probably could have delayed the ability even longer, honestly, because the balloons were still behind the dragons. Again, the idea is the balloons will eventually pass the dragons. That's when you want to use the ability. I did want to use it a little early because there is a lot of high damage here, especially with the fire spitter, but I probably could have saved it for a little bit longer. Again, revive spell here, she's now, you know, invulnerable, she's getting healed, and she's going to help take out the section, and she'd probably even funnel down this way and again help with this, you know, that way you don't have to stress about time. And then I would also say, if you're looking at this base just to correct my own attack, probably putting the king down here would have been a better idea. It would have gotten more value. He definitely would have been able to take out this whole section, and up here he didn't really do much. The queen did all of this, and the dragons would have been fine anyway, so it definitely would have been better to put him down here in hindsight. But yeah, that's what the attack would look like if we had a revive spell. I think we'll do one more attack, and we'll really try and execute what it looks like with the revive spell. Okay, so as you guys probably saw, I did mess up and ended up in Legends League. We probably should have dropped a couple of trophies before doing these attacks. But I did mess up. I am now in this area, and sadly nobody on my list is revengeable. So I did get rid of my shield, and I'm going to have to wait for that to disappear. But for the time being, I'm going to call the video there. We did do 3 attacks that kind of perfectly showed off the things. I didn't execute one properly. What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to do an attack with the revive spell later, and just upload it afterwards without any dialogue really, and just show it being done properly. But I think you guys get the idea. And also on top of that, you are not really going to be using the revive spell that frequently, as you know, I do think the recall is a better option, and the overgrowth is what I'm using pretty much 100% of the time. But yeah, I mean, you can see that this attack works. It's a very strong attack, and even against Town Hall 17s, it's creating really easy funnels and 3-starring, no problem. Other than, I'm talking about troop-wise, other than time is kind of the biggest concern. And the best way to deal with time, honestly, is just making sure your hero dives are done properly. That's why, again, as I said, in hindsight, the king would have been better down here, and we also saw because of time, it would have been better down in this segment. So the biggest thing is making sure your hero dives are done well. That is the most important part, because honestly, the funnel is going to be very, very blatant where you want to put your troops, where the dragons and balloons and everything is going to go. After the RC charge, it should be very obvious where the funnel is going to start from, which that in and of itself should help you conclude where the hero dive is going to start from. But if you do the hero dives improperly, it is going to mess up the attack, and it is going to ruin time. For this attack, obviously, the most important part is usually I'm looking for air defenses that I can clear with my queen. And then I'm kind of looking for a segment that's the king has enough health where he can go into a higher DPS area, but an area like this that doesn't really have high DPS, he's going to completely tank that segment and take it out. So it's not a problem. And that's kind of how you can gauge how your hero dive is going to look. But with that said, again, the main version of the attack is the overgrowth, but again, there do happen to be 2 different or 3 different variants. If you want to try freeze spells, a few different variants that you can try of this attack, and I strongly recommend that you do give it a try and see which one fits you best. But with that said, thank you guys for watching this video. There's going to be a lot more content, and as you guys can see, I'm pretty much maxed out 16, so when that happens, we're going to really start pushing trophies here, and I'll start recording a lot more videos. But again, with that being said, thank you guys for watching today's video, and I'll see you guys soon.